What is going on, guys? My name is Dave. Welcome back to the 103rd episode division of the Offshore Gamescast. Um, I think I'm done.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Lile.
Now
We're
what?
here.
Oh, okay.
Dave's angry. And we have plugs to do.
And Lile is very hot.
She's cooking.
Oh yeah.
I do have a question to which the past 3 days, the 4th, 5th, and 6th have been record breaking just heat for the Earth. In Germany on the 6th, what was the average temperature in your area?
I don't remember.
Well, I was out in the heat, so I distinctly remember looking at the car that said 93 degrees outside.
See, that's your guys' weird Fahrenheit system that I don't get anyway. So.
I saw something about this recently and how it makes so much more sense to go with Fahrenheit than Celsius. Because in the grand scheme of things, if you look at 0 and 100, 0 feels like that's low. That's cold. 100, that's up there. That's hot. You go to Celsius and it's like 21 degrees. That's warm. But like 26 degrees is like you're dead. You're burning. I don't get it.
Did an American tell you that?
I don't know. It was the internet.
Oh, okay.
So it's obviously reliable. Let me cite
And
it.
obviously
Internet.
American.
Wait, we don't know that.
I think we have a good. I think we have a good idea on that one.
What's happening, Dylan?
Dave, we were on the Your Friendly Neighborhood Gamers podcast.
It was a good time.
It was. Go check that out. We were interviewed and we spoke about ourselves. It was very narcissistic and it was great.
Yeah, but the best part is the end, where we all fought to the death.
We did. It was. We'll go listen, and you can see who survived.
We have a new Twitter.
Am I talking to a ghost here?
He could be. Maybe one of us.
Maybe.
Who's to say? Yeah, we're on new Twitter. We're on Threads. Offshore Gamescast, all one word. Go follow us on there. We're one of the cool kids. We're hip. We're modern. We're with it.
We're joining the bandwagon as a business because that's the only model that can successfully take us to the future, because that's what everyone else is doing, and you don't make any progress by standing out. I mean, look at Microsoft.
Your train of thought, I did not follow it at all there.
We ran out of coal. This is a bullet train.
Lyle, what are we talking about today?
I don't know what's happening today. We are talking about Dordogne, or if you wanted the French way, Dordogne. So let's go.
Wait, what's the difference between the first way and the French way?
Dordogne is different than Dordogne.
Oh, I didn't hear that. They both sounded exactly the same for a second.
Next week, July 20th, we are talking about Lord of the Rings Gollum. It is very bad. And what are we talking about after that, Dave?
Coming up on July 27th, we're gonna be back to back, bringing up some good times hanging out with your friendly neighborhood gamers again. Andrew, we're gonna be sitting down with him, possibly, and talking about Final Fantasy XVI, which is a pretty good game so far. Oh boy, have you started it, Dylan?
No, I want to.
I don't know how to describe it besides after the first 2 or 3 hours, I kind of had to sit down for a little bit.
I had a very similar feeling after the first 2 to 3 hours of Gollum.
I think there were much different reasons to sit down.
I would hope so.
I think so. But that'll be a good old fun time. But in the process, you all have a job to do.
Like, huh?
Rating, reviewing, commenting, listening, talking, watching, anywhere. What?
You botched that one, Dylan. That was such a good segue.
It was.
That was a great segue. And
I like zones for a second, and when you said you all have a job to do, I thought you were talking to me and Lyle.
Hey, You both of you, all both of you, you guys got busy to do. All right, get in it.
Yes, sir.
Regardless,
Right away, sir.
what Dylan wanted to say is, if you would be so kind to, rate, give us 5 stars, give us a comment. We'd love to talk about it on the show. Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google, Amazon, Waffle House, YouTube, the side entrance to Area 51, anywhere you can find podcasts, really.
I always forget we got those exclusive deals with Waffle House and the side entrance of Area 51.
It's
We're
sort of
just playing our show on loop.
You know how like the companies do their like agreements to like PlayStation and Call of Duty. We got Area 51 pretty well, but annoyingly Waffle House is only there until about 2025, so we got to figure out a new business
Yeah,
deal
it's a
before
timed
they
exclusive, but
before they
we have some time to figure it out.
yeah. Really don't want to lose those deals.
No, they're paying the bills.
I know.
Lyle,
Yes.
you're gonna be stepping away
Yes.
for a couple of weeks.
Yes, I will be gone for a couple of weeks, at least for I have some surgery and some recovering to do. So, but I will be back. I promise. Even if you don't want me to, I will be back.
Yeah,
Imagine day
hear
one
that,
coming
haters?
back, being like, "What's going on, guys? I got about 60 indie games to talk about today."
I hope that's how I'm coming back, to be honest.
You have like the 10-hour videos of just like lightning in the background to fall asleep to, and then you have just a 10-hour video being like, all right, game number 6. Let's get into it.
I can only hope that I feel that good during recovery to play 1,000 indie games.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope it's a good, quick, safe recovery. But in the interim, while Lyle will be away and safe from here, we'll try our best to have a few good old friends, like we said, Andrew from your friendly neighborhood gamers is going to be popping on. We're going to be talking about Final Fantasy XVI. And who else? Who knows who's going to be next? You know what? Maybe Lyle will be here. That'll be a surprise.
She will be. She's
I'll
coming
come
back.
I will be back.
We will hold down the fort without you for a few
Yes,
weeks.
please.
All right,
You
Lyle.
go on.
It will probably be a little more off the rails.
You think so? I feel like the beginning of this episode. I feel like
that's true.
This whole show is a monorail, and it's rusty as shit.
That's what all that squeaking is in the background.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's the man with the spoon and the plate underneath the LIRR.
Ooh, I don't like that.
If you take the LIRR and you sit down and you hear that squeaking, that's a man with a spoon and a plate. He's making that noise. He only takes one day off a year, and it's Christmas.
I don't know why that made me think of salad fingers.
It's like a mix of salad fingers and the character, one of the Tom Hanks characters in Polar Express, where he sits on top of the train. I combine those two together, and he gets like a minimum wage job out of it.
Yeah, let's talk about Dordogne.
Who made it?
Who made it? Developer. We have Umanimation, which is a French company, and they're kind of like
Un je ne sais quoi.
Oh, je ne sais quoi. They are like a company within that company, as far as I can tell, and they make video games. So, je ne sais quoi.
Is this Cumception?
Made this? No.
What?
And Focus Entertainment published it. So I guess they got a bit of help from them too. I would hope so.
They got money.
They got money, exactly. Release date was June 13th, 2023, and it came out for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, PC, and Mac. Great.
Play it anywhere except your phone.
Exactly. This game,
it's on Game
I feel
Pass. I feel like that would definitely be part of like the Game Pass mobile.
Oh,
especially
sure.
a point and click like this.
You could stream it, I guess.
I was about to say, I feel like this game actually would have been really good on a mobile device, and I will get to why when we talk about gameplay. But first, as a concept, this is an adventure game with point and click elements where you try to
Mm-hmm.
recapture.
Mm-hmm.
But what's happening? Oh God,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on?
I'm pointing at Dylan. He knows what he did, and I was waiting for
I
it.
don't even know how it happened. I accidentally put a P in the word click
Click.
in the doc, so it was point and click.
It's like
I
click.
saw it, and I ignored it like a professional.
Yeah, and then Dave's sitting here. Oh, I saw that one.
Oh, my back's real itchy. You fucking scratch that shit, man.
So yeah, where you try to recapture the memories of Mimi, and you are in the very, very beautiful Dordogne region of France. And it is very beautiful. Some of you may have seen images of this game. This is made in like a watercolor art style, really, really cool, and it's made to look like pop-up books. Do you know, is that the same word in
Yeah,
English?
yeah.
Good. Where you have these like so you have a little bit in the foreground, but it all still looks 2D, but you can tell this is foreground, this is background.
Do they
When you
have like
run
a
around it.
general oh fuck, what's the word? God damn it.
This is the worst.
Focus. Is there like a general like focus where like the background is more blurred and whatnot, and like compared to the foreground, or is it like you can just tell the depth based off color and perspective?
The second one, it
Okay.
actually sometimes was a bit hard to perceive depth, which is why it's good that you were on rails pretty much for the entire time. If the areas had been more open, it would have been kind of difficult to navigate, because sometimes they just stretched out what the artist had drawn, so it like a normal piece of paper, they just stretched it out and it looked really weird and you could not tell depths. Yeah, that was the only thing where I was kind of like, okay, I see the style you were going for. It didn't always work the way I think you intended it to, because it really felt like the 3D and the 2D artists work completely separately. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe, but that was just my perception of how that happened. But it is extremely beautiful. The colors are so bright and so vibrant, especially in the memory sections where you're a child experiencing that world and that beautiful French countryside.
Are there
It's amazing. Like
are there
the
black and white shots?
no, no.
There's no subjective sections, objective sections.
Wow, no. But je ne sais quoi is actually they don't just make video games, they also just do art. So they do art workshops, watercolor workshops, and yeah, that's the style that they brought to this game, and you can tell that these artists, they just know their stuff. The character design, in contrast to this, is very much like an old school anime one. That kind of took me out for the first couple of minutes, because I didn't feel like it meshed too well. But that's just personal taste, because I'm not into anime that much. But there was a really, really cute black cat with these adorably large eyes, and that was very cute. I like that cat.
What was the cat's name?
I don't think it had a name.
Everyone has a name.
I don't think it had a name. I might be wrong about it, but I don't think it did. It was just a black cat.
1 out of 10, worst game ever.
Oh,
You also
I typed in cat in Dordogne and it started bringing up cats in Dordogne.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
you need to put game behind Dordogne, otherwise you will just get the region or the river.
I've seen a wild cat here, as distinct from a feral or domestic cat. Much larger, grayish tabby markings.
Aww, that's cute.
I see what you mean, though. Every time you guys are talking in the background, I look up the trailer and shit, and I see what you mean by the. Um, I don't know how I would describe it. It almost looks like it's very Ghibli-ish. Like the characters, they're very Ghibli-ish, but in a 3D model sense,
Yep. Yeah.
which is very. I can definitely see it being like staggering.
Yeah, I think that's just me though, because I don't like anime style in general, so that just took me out because I don't know why, because that must have been in the trailers. I just didn't realize it.
Mhm.
When I was playing it, I was just like, this is different than what I was expecting.
I wish there was like a magical transformation suit up scene where you become the cat. That's anime.
That would have been anime. That's true. There is
Everything's
a
a
bit of
little anime.
there is a bit of magical realism in this, but not
Ooh.
quite that much.
Do it.
But yeah,
Ah!
oh god, so loud. But the game ran smoothly. I wrote rang. I don't know why,
No,
but
you
it
didn't.
ran. I did.
No, you
Oh, was
didn't.
that you? Was that you?
After
How dare
Dylan
you?
corrected his mistake, I initially went in and I made more. So be on the lookout.
How
Oh
mean.
wow.
How mean. But yeah, the game ran smoothly with this, with which is something noteworthy, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
um, it just ran very well.
What
Yeah,
are
it's
you
But
at
yeah,
the
talking
point where
about?
we're
A modern day
celebrating
game
games.
working.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy. I know.
that's
It's
something to
unheard of.
celebrate now.
It is. That's
Get
so
ready for
sad.
next week when games don't work at all.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You will be talking
ugh.
about it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you have this divide between present and past where you have adult Mimi and child Mimi, and with child Mimi everything is very bright and very colorful, and in the present it's much more dulled down. It's kind of like this,
Subjective and objective thing going on.
it's this coming of age in a bit of a sad sense where like the world loses wonder over time and stuff. That's at least
Oh.
my interpretation of what was
I feel
happening.
that every day.
But yeah, moving from art and graphics over to sound and music. Sound design, since this is mostly based in reality, so every sound that you hear from like dishes clanking or when you're gardening and stuff, that's very 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 grounded in reality. There isn't anything like that would take you out of it where you would be like, okay, that's not how, what it is in the real world. It's very unintrusive. I feel like the sound design what stood out the least to me. It was just sounds. So
Dylan doesn't give a shit.
yeah, Dylan's just gone. But all of the environments and the game in general, it has a very calm feeling. It really wants to capture this rural countryside where life is very easygoing and very smooth.
Are most
And
of what you're doing like simple tasks like that?
yes, everything you do is simple tasks.
I mean, the generally the way that this game presents itself, I think point and click games are boring as fucking shit, especially the ones that are just straight up point and click. Now, I was
And
looking
that's
at
the
the
point.
trailer, but no, there's a difference because this game labels itself as a point and click, but you do things. You
It
pick up
actually,
like things happen. It's not just like all of a sudden like something just forms out of like nowhere, and then in a flash second it just transforms into what it is. Like like things happen. Like you're going to do the plants. The base is coming off. You're doing things to it. You're picking up a spoon. It's moving. It's not just like fuck you. Things are. We don't have enough budget. Like shit like that.
well, that stuff can also get quite tedious, but I think this game actually made it work.
But as long as things are happening, because I've tried point and click games that I'm
Yeah,
trying
but
to have fun for the narrative and puzzle, and they're just so slow and boring. And
I'll
because
talk about it.
you're not even getting that extra sense of like motion in the world. It's just like I'm so bored staring at pictures
You
that
would
aren't even moving.
then let me tell you, you would hate this game.
Doubt, doubt. I've played
You
unpacking.
would.
I hate unpacking. I probably love this even more.
You would not like this game. I will talk about why.
Don't fill
Uh,
me. I have this downloaded. I'll play this right after in one
you
sitting.
you can play it. I'm just saying, if you find that tedious, then That's all this game is. There is nothing else.
It looks better from the 30 extra seconds I've seen.
But yeah, it captures like this very calm countryside very well. You do have some collectibles, and sounds for that are like very childlike and satisfying. So you have stickers and like we have here in Europe, the sticker packets, you open them and then have a fun ripping sound. I just find that very charming. I like that stuff.
Elaborate.
You can find stickers as collectibles, and when it pops up in first pops up in a package, and then the package rips, and then you see what the actual sticker is.
Is it like a little mystery thing each time? That's cute.
I don't think it's mystery each time. I think it's purposefully placed.
Well, no, but like you don't know
But for
what it's gonna
you,
be, so
yeah, exactly.
it's like a mystery box.
Exactly. It's for your brain. It's like, yay! I found something fun.
Yay! Taxes are gone for a second.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a child again. I can have fun with it.
I shit my pants.
There's one
Is
section
that what
in
you're
there.
doing as an adult?
As a child, for a split second, if I'm reliving my inner child.
That's all you did as a kid?
For a split
Rather
second.
shit your pants.
What did you do as a kid? Like a kid. You fucking walked your little
I feel
adult,
like that's
your
more.
baby legs to the toilet and sat down
Isn't
every
that
time.
more like toddler stuff than kid stuff?
Yeah,
Is a
when I was a
toddler
kid,
not
it
a
was-
kid?
I don't know. I feel like baby, toddler, kid.
Yeah, I agree.
That all can fall under kid. And is kid not a child? Aren't we all children of God?
No.
I mean, following this logic, we're kids now because there's parents. So
Yeah.
everyone is a kid.
Well, yeah. But like
So you're shitting your pants now, is what you're saying.
Okay. Well, that's mentally. What we are, we're
So
all
you're like feeling it. You're like, yeah.
we are children. You know, kid is just something that you call somebody, but what we are children. And children shit their pants.
You can only speak for yourself on this one.
There's one section in the game. I'm just ignoring everything that's happening. Where you're in the rain and there's a storm and it's very dramatic, but the rain was very loud. That was the only time I was like, oh, this sound design, I do not like it, but I get it because it was there for dramatic reasons. There's no voice acting, or there's only very few scenes that are voice acted. The rest is text boxes and letters and stuff. But the voice acting is very charming. It's not amazing, but it works for what it is, with like little Mimi and her grandma, and you also hear the grandpa a couple of times.
Do they use it in good spots, like where it's really
I
supposed
think
to make the moments hit?
I think so.
All right,
I think that
I'm just
worked.
imagining like a.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that does happen.
Can you pass the salt?
No.
This is one of those weekly Dave moments where, boy, that's gonna work great in the audio format.
At the end of the day, I forget about the audio format.
That's
Like, whatever.
That's our main thing.
Yeah, but when I look at it in the moment, I'm looking at myself, and I don't care. I move around anyway. You can't stop me.
Oh.
You know what we got to do at the end of each only the audio sections, just like a countdown of every like visual thing that I've done, because the amount of times I point or something, be like pointed 4 times, and just at the end every little thing blinked 8 times.
This is gonna be what the entire episodes are like when you're gone, Lyle.
Yeah, I feel it. It's a perfect goodbye. Actually, I feel so warm inside.
It's all right. You get to just listen to us be louder
and talk about shitting your pants.
I mean, that's pretty on brand for us, I feel like.
Yeah.
It is. But yeah, the voice actor parts, you have like little cutscenes, and then it switches to text boxes, and that works really well. I like the parts they voice acted. I thought it was nice. The music is very, very interesting because it's absolutely not what I would have expected for this game. I would have thought this would have some like French folk maybe playing, but it's this very electronic synth music, which is
Take
more
control.
That's not
which is
electronic synth.
like you have more of a soundscape than songs, really. I don't know.
That's not what I would have expected either.
Yeah, me neither. And when I listened to it again for the podcast, and it was really like, this is so not what I thought the game music would be like. You have some parts, especially in the memory parts, where it's very like childlike, and they have this very short melody that they use and reuse in a lot of those songs because it plays into the story of the game. But especially um the present sections, that's like playing with distortion a lot because Mimi is going through this recapturing of her childhood and her innocence stuff. And that was really, I would not listen to this just on my own. I It's just so weird to me. But it was very interesting and it worked really well. So you have this very dreamlike feel all around. It's more like soundscapes, and you have a lot of the sounds of the environment incorporated into the soundtrack too. So the rain, for example, you have one track where there really is just rain pattering all over the place in that musical piece, which is probably why that was so loud in the scene, because they probably doubled that rain sound. But yeah, it's very cool. It did fit. I would not listen to it by myself.
That's
Do you
exactly what
guys
I'm doing right now.
do you guys have this thing too where like there are also songs I either know from like a movie, a game, or a show that normally I wouldn't listen to, but then like having the connection to that, I
Road
listen to it and then like
Road 96.
that's a good example.
100%.
I was listening to that song recently. It came up in my shuffle, and I got so fucking excited. Because granted, like, they're still coming through. Like, it's mainly an instrumental song, even though that's the only words that are spoken. But I usually avoid instrumentals at all costs because I just get nothing from them. But that one, oh fuck, just it brings me back to that vibe. And for some reason, as a capstone song, it feels to me that for the tone of the game, it has the same effect that Carry On My Wayward Son has at the end of every Supernatural episode. It just has that feeling.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Obviously it's not the same tone, but it's just like I hear it coming up and it's like I get goosebumps. So I'm like, yeah, it's at the end. Carry on my. It's good.
I have that with a song from the Red Dead Redemption 2 soundtrack, because I do not listen to
Ooh,
gospel. That's not
oh,
something.
is it?
Um,
Oh, is it? Um, Unbroken or was it Unspoken?
yeah, I think, yeah, Unbroken.
So
Yeah,
that one's so fucking.
but I would not listen. But I would never listen to that.
Unshaken. Unshaken is what it's called.
Unshaken, right? Unshaken.
Against the waves
Would
of
never listen to it.
love.
Just if it came up, I would just be like, but because I have the connection to the game,
Mhm.
I am like, yes,
No, that one's
give
good.
me.
Best song ever.
Yes,
That one's really
one
fucking good
hundred
though.
percent, 100%.
Did I hear thunder?
Ah, shit.
Did
copyright
I?
strike.
Well,
Copyright strike.
can't quite remember.
The tape doesn't give a shit.
That's why.
Nope, he never does.
Try and strike me down.
What? Isn't free use like 30 seconds? Plus, I'm singing it myself.
I think that's actually a myth, the whole
Yeah.
30 seconds thing.
Free use is a fucking myth, dude.
Especially on YouTube.
It's exactly.
Even if the artist says it's free to use, some other asshole will come and claim it.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if I go out and anyone's using Offshore Gamescast music, you're losing your goddamn pinkies.
He's coming for you. Look out. We have a lot of
You're so clearly not intimidated. Just, look out, he's coming for you.
Watch out, guys. He's taking his steps forward.
I feel like I can do this because I'm half a world away. I don't have to be afraid of
Yeah.
Dame.
It won't take me that long to get a passport. Come on. Not when I got determination up my ass.
You don't know where I live too, so either.
That's all right. Compared to other countries, Germany's pretty small.
But that's true, but a lot of people live here.
All right, connections. Where's Lile? Picture.
Little
Oh,
known
God,
fact,
that would-
whenever Lile leaves the house, she wears a different face.
Guys, where's this person I talk to every week? I have no idea where they are.
I'm a shapeshifter now. That would be cool power.
Oh no,
I like that.
Lyle's a skinwalker.
A brainworm. I'm a Gua-Ult, and nobody knows what that is.
A what?
Oh,
A
See?
ghoul? A
I heard
ghoul?
Ghoul. Is that what it is?
I knew that.
Ghoul?
Gua-Ult with a D at the end.
All right, Google, help me out here.
The first thing I got was Goo Goo Dolls. Let's move in. Good old definition.
Is this a real thing? Did you make this up? Ghoul? I don't. Nothing. It doesn't exist. It's what?
I found the word Gould in the German English translation.
I don't think I'm spelling it right because
Definitely not.
Probably not.
I got embassy.org, the Embassy of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania.
God, no!
That's so I did something wrong.
How do you spell it?
G-O-A?
Hey!
Oh yeah, I was already so wrong.
U-L-U-L-D.
What the fuck? An aquatic species symbiote from the.
And now I'm
What?
so curious what the hell you're getting.
Oh, it's Stargate.
Yes!
Okay.
Oh. No, Dylan's brother isn't here, so none of us would have gotten that.
They're a symbiote though, so they're like Venom.
I saw symbiote and I was like, Spider-Man.
They're little snakes.
I know.
Oh,
I
it's
saw the
not.
staff.
Oh, no, it's not the. That's not a staff. That's the creature. I thought it was the person holding the said staff.
No.
It's not a staff. That's a snake thing. Scroll down, you'll see more of them.
Oh, they take over people as hosts?
Yeah.
Yuck. And why is there so much Egyptian shit? Why is Anubis and Ra here?
Because it's Stargate! Have you Oh my god, people! Childhood!
I never watched Stargate.
Yeah, me either.
Shame!
I was spending too much time watching every musical that came out.
Shame, I agree. Shame.
No, musicals are great. Okay, going off of this tangent, I have no segue back to the game.
I don't remember what we were talking about.
We're talking about gameplay. So,
of course.
Dordogne presents itself as an adventure game. So you are controlling Mimi, either as a child or an adult, and you're walking mostly around the house of the grandma and the immediate area around it. And you're doing that in fixed camera angles, and that's probably a good thing, because then you can't walk off anywhere, and that would not be good for the game. So you do have these kind of point and click elements to it, and that is pretty much the you pick something up, then you turn it left or right, you have a screwdriver and you're screwing out screws. You have a
Are you just clicking though? Like you just click it and then like it does the thing?
Or are you using like a thumbstick to like unscrew?
Yes.
Which one?
You click and then you're losing the thumbstick. Usually.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
That's what makes
You
this
do
better
clicks.
than fucking stupid point and clicks. You're doing shit. You're not just pointing and clicking. It's bullshit.
Yeah, you also you have a section where you fix a kayak, for example. That's very cute. To me, these gameplay elements felt very unnecessary, and they are also very awkward with both mouse and keyboard and controller, because I tried both. Because I started with controller and then I thought, this feels a little weird. Let's try mouse and keyboard instead. Felt even more weird. So I went back to the controller. Um, I know they want gameplay in there, and that's what Dave said. Make it a bit more interesting than just pointing and clicking.
Because it's not fun.
But I think with how sensitive the controls were, it needed a bit more fine tuning, because it felt just very awkward.
Does
I
it
don't
do
know.
the thing where like, so the screwdriver thing, for example, and you're like having to turn it in a circle where if it's not like a perfect circle, it like gets kind of caught a little bit, and you have to like go back to where you were and kind of.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I sometimes didn't even find the right starting point. It said I should press A and then press left on the thumbstick, for example, and it just didn't do anything. And then I realized, okay, I have to be on this certain section of the screen and then press A and pull left, you know?
That's where the bullshit comes in.
And that was and because also the controls were so sensitive, you were all over the place all the time with your cursor. That's why I thought it would be better with mouse and keyboard, but it wasn't, which I found very weird. But overall, I think it worked well for the 3 hours that the game has, because it's not longer than that. So that was totally fine. As collectibles, you have, as I mentioned before, the stickers. You also collect words, out of which you make little poems at the end. You can collect photos and sounds. So at the end of each little section in the memories, you make a journal page out of different elements that you found.
Do you
That was
have
very.
do you have words that like you start off with to create a poem and then you get words later on that like can add to it, or hypothetically if you only pick up 3 words by the end of the game, can you make a poem that just goes dog dog cat dog
No,
pickle?
you you get words, and then when you select one of them, let's say you collected scary, so then you press on scary, and then it will give you 3 lines with the word scary in it, so you can choose it was scary in this cave, or I felt scary, or this felt scary, or something. So it just makes little lines of poems out of these words that you collect. It's more like a
Ghost of Tsushima.
feeling.
Ghost of Tsushima did a similar thing.
That might be. I haven't played Ghost of
when
Tsushima.
when you sit down and like when you get buck ass naked and you see your little tush before you get into like the springs, that's one of them. But like in a similar area, you'll kneel down and you'll look around in like the sky, and if you look at like a tree or the river or like the sky, it just has like one word, and it sort of like gives you a path to like where you're going. So like you got forgiveness and like
Oh yeah.
redemption. It's not so it's like you kind of pick one to like get like a point across, and you get like one line. What it is like you pick one word and then you pick another word after it changes, and then the third word, and then all those come together into like a poem made from those specific ones.
Yeah, I think those are also really haikus. I don't think this one went for any specific metric in that regard. It was really just childlike little poems that fit. The journal pages very much reminded me of Season a Letter to the Future. That
Mm,
felt very, very, very similar to that.
you kind of like putting it in yourself, or
Yeah, exactly. You're choosing which parts of the adventure that you lived through on that day were the most important to you.
is
Like,
it similar in a sense where you are like you do have a journal and like you take a sticker and you can place it anywhere on the page?
yes.
Oh, cool.
But you only do that at the end of each section. So it's not like in season where you can just do that whenever you want. That's really
I like that better.
when one section ends, you then make, out of all the stuff that you found that day, you can make your page, your little
That would
page.
be less incentivizing for me because I feel like I'm done. I'm ready to move on to the next section, and it's like now I
Yeah,
got like
man,
8 things,
you
and I'm
have
like,
to.
I don't care about putting these in it. Like if I did it along the way, and I'd be like, look at that memory, but now it's just like task.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it does have story reasons for why you do that, and I thought that was very, very cute how they did. did that. So
Okay.
Yeah,
you
Dave.
also
Fuck you, Dylan. You don't know
You
what a
also-
colander is.
we do now. I do
Yeah,
now.
now we know.
Wait till I
Yeah.
find the next thing that is just gonna blow your mind.
You also know what a Gua'uld is now.
That is. At least mine's real.
I
Wait,
don't need
it's
real.
not real?
I don't need real. It is. I am one.
See? Living proof.
All right.
I have
Show-
taken over this.
Show us your birth certificate.
I don't think snakes get those.
Hold on, hold it up again.
That's also very good for audio.
Yeah, that was great.
You also find both. You find tapes in the memory sections and letters in the present sections, and both elaborate more on the story, especially relating to the grandpa, because he has already died when Mimi goes to her grandma in the memory sections. So you learn a bit more about him and his kind of story. That was also very cute. I really like that it tied together a lot of the a bit of the uncertainty in the story that was presented to you. I don't know if the story is as satisfying if you don't listen to all of this and you don't read all of it. Because I found that really tied together all of the strings that were dangling around story wise. I really enjoyed that, but people who are not as patient with going around collecting stuff, maybe they find that stupid. I don't know.
Sounds like Dave.
You're stupid.
No, I wasn't calling you stupid. I was saying it sounds like something you would think is stupid.
I think you're stupid.
And yeah, going into the story and the narrative structure, you start as Mimi as an adult, 32-year-old, I think it said.
That's how old
And-
Superman's supposed to be.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he's like college age.
No, canonically, he's a 32-year-old man.
I do not believe you.
Fuck you too. Now I have to look
In
it up because
which-
he's an early 30-year-old man.
Which canon, though? There are so many timelines at this point.
Like the general one. I don't know.
The general one.
Because I don't think he's supposed to be 32 in the Marvel universe.
Whoa!
Whoa,
What
whoa.
the fuck's he doing
Hold
in the
on.
Marvel universe?
He's not in Marvel. He's in DC.
Interestingly enough, the new Superman, David
Superman. Oh my god, I thought you said Spider-Man. I was so
Okay.
confused.
Okay.
That explains
Okay.
it now.
Just imagine like a 5 o'clock shadow Spider-Man and like a wife beater, like he's just stressed out and like down on his luck. That's the only thing I can imagine him like a mid 30-year-old superhero in New York to be like. Oh fuck, damn it! Somebody get me a coffee. I gotta get this bad guy. Like
Yeah, but that was exactly the Spider-Man we got Into the Spider-Verse.
I
okay.
haven't seen those.
God, I want to watch
Oh.
the new one so bad, so bad.
Yeah, me too.
They
Nah.
look really cool.
I'm gonna do my own thing. Anyway, so interestingly, the new Batman,
So
the new
Superman
Superman,
is
the new
supposed to be
Superman,
30.
the new Superman actor is 31, and that's how old Superman's going to be in the new movie. But generally, he's early 30s, around 32, 33.
That makes sense. That does make sense to me. Oh god, what's happening?
I thought the new Superman thing was going to be more of like an origin thing.
Like Smallville.
Not at all. No, James Gunn immediately was like, "No, we're saying fuck you to origin stories." To which, not a great idea.
I thought the whole
because
thing was that Henry Cavill was too old.
He's also not a good look anymore, I feel like.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say now because what they had started. I know this is a DC podcast now. What they had started with Man of Steel specifically, Man of Steel is fantastic. Not only does it do a great job at establishing an origin story that is like very human and like real in the world that we live in, but it's not peppered with the bullshit that you would expect, except for the one scene where John is like, "Don't save me."
Who's
like-
John?
His dad, John Kent. There's the scene where he's standing and like the tornado comes
Aren't
and
they
he's like,
aliens?
no, just Superman. John Kent is a dude. He's a farmer.
Would John Kent birthed an alien?
No.
Do
Why?
you not know the
Do you know
Superman origin
anything?
story?
No, I don't know. I think Superman's stupid.
Oh my god.
I mean, I agree, but
All right, quick rundown. Superman's name is Kal-El. He comes from a planet called Krypton, where his parents, Jor-El, and his mom, what's her name?
I see. John
Whatever.
Kent is not real dad.
No,
Earth
Jor-El's
dad.
the real dad. What was it? What's her name? Lana, whatever. That's the mom. There's a shit going on. Where are you going? The whole reason I'm explaining this is because of you. Anyway, so whoever's listening, so shit's going down between like the government going on Krypton, and bad things are happening. So Jor-El's brother Zod is like, hey, shit's going down, and Jor-El's like, fuck you, and everyone's like, fuck you, and it's like, oh no, shit's going down, and then the planet blows up, and in the interim of the planet blowing up, they're like, shit, our baby was just born, we gotta save him. So they put him in a pod, and they send that pod to Earth, and when that pod arrives at Earth, both Martha and John Kent pick him up, and we're like, we couldn't have a baby, this is dope. And so they take him, and then after a few years, Superman realizes that since he's an alien and he's absorbing a brand new yellow sun radiation and not the red sun that he was used to, it is changing his body and giving him absolute badass elements. But he still wants to live a mild-mannered life because he's just a guy at the end of the day.
yeah, Mimi's origin story is that we start with her as an adult, and her grandma has just passed away.
Is her
and
grandma her kryptonite?
Yes, and she says she can't even
Which
remember
color?
her.
The colors of kryptonite?
Blue. Oh God, Dylan, did you know that?
No, we're not. No,
You know what pink kryptonite does, Dylan? Do you know what pink kryptonite does?
I want to hear about Dordogne.
This episode could have been so much shorter.
Make Superman like boys. What? Green kryptonite is his weakness. Red kryptonite makes him really mad. Pink kryptonite makes him gay. I don't know why, but it's real. It's a thing. There's different colors of kryptonite, and pink makes him gay. It's a canonical thing. I don't get it.
I don't want to get
it. It's
So Mimi says, I don't know where I'm gonna start.
Let's just start the episode over.
So Mimi's parents were killed in an alleyway.
No.
She was a kid.
No.
That's where we start.
No. We start as her as a 32-year-old woman. Her grandma has just passed away, and she says that she can't remember her grandma because her earliest memory is when she was 13. So she is now going to her grandma's house, trying to recapture her childhood, since she knows from her parents that she used to spend her summers there. So we get very, very early on that her dad does not want her to go there for whatever reason that we do not know. And then she finds like a note that her grandma left her in the house saying that there's a box she needs to find. And in that box are some memories of their time together. And as you might have guessed at this point, it's the journal that's going to be in the box.
Do you
at
find
the end
out
of the day,
bad secrets about her father?
You find out her dad did not want her to go to her grandma's anymore because of something that happened. And that is
that like a spoiler?
Yes, and that is what the game is about. Getting to that moment.
The grandma would constantly dine and dash, and that's after a while you just can't respect someone anymore.
Exactly. Her grandma's just an asshole.
You open up the box and it's nothing but like banned letters from so many restaurants, and she's flipping through. I'm like, oh my god, what is
all these receipts? All these receipts we never paid. So yeah, you go as adult Mimi to the house, and you find like bits and pieces that bring her memory back, and especially of one summer that you then live through as child Mimi. who's very cute, by the way. I love her little hat, or her big hat, actually.
Does it do the thing when you're like adult Mimi, and let's say you find the hat, you pick it up and then it like transitions in the same spot, but as a child?
No, it does a
Oh,
transition
it does
screen.
Wayne's World.
It's a turn-based battle.
Where you see where you see all the pieces that she has found floating around, and then it transitions to the childhood memories. It is.
This is a midlife crisis.
Yeah, we've hit that point. As you can probably imagine, it's a very emotionally driven story. I could really relate to that feeling of, because in this summer she's left there by her parents to live with her grandma for a couple of weeks, and you have that period of, oh, I don't know this person, even though it's my grandma, I don't know her very well. So as a child you get so reclusive at the beginning, and you're like, oh, I don't like it here, I want to see my friends and all of that stuff, and then you slowly kind of ease into that relationship with your grandparent, and they show you their life too, and what it is to live in Dordogne in this instance.
Have you seen the movie The Visit?
That's the first thing I was thinking of too. Every
I
time
just
you
watched
kept
that
mentioning,
recently.
You are derailing
I
my
haven't-
beautiful, emotionally driven with a fucking horror movie. Are you kidding me?
I have not seen The Visit, but the entire time you're describing this, all I'm imagining is Mimi getting into that oven and the grandma being like, like just ready to cook her up. Like that's the reason we don't go to grandma, because you used to have an older brother.
Wow. No.
Can you clean the oven for me? I'm a little old and frail.
No, you learn about her relationship with the grandfather, what they shared, and also to their son, which the relationship even at that point is very strained, and you don't know why. And I think that you never really figure out why that is. I think they just don't like each other very much. Um,
That happens.
it does happen. Um, and I think if you do have a grandparent you're very close to, be careful with this game. It might be a little bit wrecking, emotionally speaking.
What if the grandparents that I do care about are already dead?
That was also very sad. You are full of like sarcastic sadness today.
Well, I mean, it's just life. But you know,
It is also just life.
but as a more
I was
legitimate question, is it more? Do you think it would be more or less effectful if those grandparents that you do care more for have passed?
I mean, I said in the beginning that the grandma has already passed, so that is something that you do already know, and this is about reconnecting with a person that you have seemingly forgotten all about.
I guess where
So
I'm more trying to get to is when so for me, for example, to which my grandfather has passed, and you have that connection, but there's two different types of people that could play this sort of game, which are the people that are in that situation and the people who do have grandparents that are still alive and do have the chance to become a broader connection with them. So to
I
which
think
you could get two different absolute perspectives from that based off
sure,
you know.
sure. And I think the game also it is for both those perspectives, and I cannot say if one would be more effectful than the other. I think that's very much also depends on the person
Mhm.
playing it. Um
That's what's hard, because now I'm even more interested.
yeah, I really, that part I really enjoyed, and I think the pacing also was really good. But you should be aware that for the most part, this is just a point and click style game where you just go through a child's memory, and and the memories are also very childlike. It's what you as an adult, knowing what your relationship with your grandparents is like projects onto that relationship between the two. And then the ending, that's where like waterworks started flowing on my face.
It's
Um,
there's daytime Dylan games and there's Lile crying games.
yes,
We
exactly.
just
And
have
this
to
is
find the Dave version.
yes, and this is definitely a Lile crying game.
We love those.
Yeah, there was one particular sentence that was
And
said that got me like, oh my god, I'm dying now.
I need you to start giving a final score, and then how many tears out of 10?
That's true. I
Because
should do
you
that.
have your score here for the game, but that doesn't mean it could be higher or lower on the cry
That's true.
spectrum.
That's true. We are doing that now. I gave the game a score of 6.4.
Okay. Just slicing necks, chopping heads.
Of 6.5. And that was mostly due to the gameplay, because I did not enjoy it that much. But if we are talking crying score, it would definitely be like an 8.
Okay. I want to do that too. There's a game that I mentioned in our little group chat recently that I played.
Yes.
That, oh my god, that's got to be like a 10 or 11 out of 10 on the cry scale for me. Like, oh god, I want to talk about that so bad. But I do find it interesting because, specifically going back to my grandfather, he passed I think in 2008. But any of the memories that I have always been not like staying there, but like only summer memories. Like, family would come out in the summer, so that would be pretty much the only time that I would see him and hang out. So there's some memories built there, but a lot of it is just sort of like from afar.
I have that with my mother's side, the grandparents too.
Mm-hmm.
Like my father's father, he died very early. I have no memory of him at all. But his mother, we are living so close together, and like I know her so well. And with the other grandparents, it was more reserved in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this game got me definitely. And I feel like if you have a really, really close relationship with your grandparent, that's gonna be even worse.
All right.
I have some fun facts. So Dordogne is not only the name of this game and a region in France, it's also a river. And they incorporated that river into the game. And there's also a folktale that is about this river, and they have that in the game as well. And that's where the magical realism comes in. It's so cool and so
that sounds
fun.
very cool.
Yeah, it is.
Is the river like a Lazarus pit?
No.
Do you get thrown into it and then you're like alive?
Do you start off at 32
I'm
into
not
the river and you come out at 13?
I'm not gonna spoil anything about it, because I think that's really the thing that's yeah.
Is that why the game is so sad? Are you digging up your grandmother and dragging her body to the river to bring her back?
No! Stop! Oh god. Don't ruin it for me. But yeah, that was really, really cute, because that brought in this very childlike mind, because you also you found another boy that you explore this river with, and it's really, really cute. And I really like that they got that into the game, because I think here in also in Germany and France, we have folk tales about every region, every river, every fucking cave that we have here. So I always think that's a very European thing to do, to really make the most out of these little folk tales. And I really love that they put that in the game. I love that.
All right.
And then, yeah. And that's it.
We have a notable game release. Last minute addition to the notable game releases. Okay, Dave, why don't you go ahead and take that one?
Well, that's the thing. I get to the end and I'm like, fuck, there's notable game releases. And I look through and I see the one and I was like, well, what if there's more? And I found one and there's more.
I don't know what that is.
So I'll start off. We got Testament The Order. Oh, that should say hi, not Hugh Jackman. The Testament. The Order of High Human. That'll come out on July 13th for PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, and Xbox One. This seems to be. It labels itself as a first-person, single-player action-adventure game with bits of RPG and Metroidvania elements set in a post-apocalyptic fantasy world. You're basically going
Oh
around with
God.
magic, bows and arrows, shooting demons and stuff in caves, and
That
it looks pretty sick, actually.
the Order of Hugh Human has a very different vibe to it than
Yes,
High
it
Human.
does.
It does.
I was also very confused for a
I
second.
thought it was
Hi,
some sort of like
human.
wacky comedy game.
Yes.
The Hugh Human. No,
The
but
Hugh Human.
that looks sick. I'm excited for that. You could talk about the next one while I quickly search up if any of these are interesting.
Lyle, I could take that one to give
Yes,
you a break since
do
you
it.
did everything. Viewfinder is coming out July 18th to PC and PS5.
That game
And
looks
that is
awesome.
Yeah, it looks really cool. You take pictures with your Polaroid, picture comes out, and then you can place that picture anywhere in the world. You can rotate it, and it's just like boom, there it is in the world. Then you use that to solve puzzles, to cross gaps, to do your. It seems very cool.
I will definitely watch a walkthrough of it. I don't think I have the mental capacity to play it.
Oh, dude, puzzle
wanna
games
play
get me so fucking excited. I'm so hyped for it.
Oh, me too. I just can't play them.
It's very similar to Superliminal because it's a perspective based game, and I fucking love Superliminal. That was great.
All right.
I would love to say that I can play these. I would.
One day.
One day, my brain will adjust. It will go. I will get younger, and my brain will
It's like
do
every
more.
7 years, your taste buds change or whatever it is. It's like that.
And
Dude,
okay,
it took
okay.
me 26. It took me about 25 years to enjoy pickles. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about then.
Well, your taste buds could have been changing. It just never got to the pickle point.
That's so fucking frustrating. Shit pisses me off. I wasted so much money in pickles over the years.
Why were you buying pickles if you didn't like
If you
them?
don't like
Because I
them,
wanted to so fucking bad.
why?
Because I don't know. Everyone else did. It was like the one thing besides coffee where I was like, I want to like these. It's like the Souls games. I want to enjoy them so bad. Everyone else does. And I finally hit me. I started eating pickle chips, and I was like, all right, this is good. And I went on to pickles. I haven't taken a pickle off my burger in like a year and a half, bro. It's great.
Amazing.
I love
The
it.
things I learn about you, I'm always amazed.
Dude, I'm a fucking book that no one wants to pick up.
Treasure
Can't
trove.
put down. Treasure Island? Treasure Planet? That's a great fucking movie. Look at this guy.
I've never watched that one. I should.
Oh, it's an absolute classic. Not only that, but it's during the time of animation movies that actually cared about their soundtracks.
My roommate says that too, actually.
That's a good point. I mean, they really do. That was a big thing. Anything animated from like the early 80s to like stop at like 2004.
And
Why
it's
four
definitely
specifically?
not because we saw this movie as children, and that's because we think they are so great. It's definitely because they cared.
They
and
did.
were not corporate the identities at that point at all.
You look at any TV show since on Cartoon Network since Adventure Time came out, and you go back and you look at the 1980s Transformers animated movie, and you can just tell that the people nowadays don't give two shits, are just waiting for a paycheck and want to stick their middle finger up every publisher and fucking
Sound
corporate
old.
person's ass. Fuck you, I am old. You're older.
My nephew would disagree. My nephew would disagree with you. Actually.
Yeah, that's because kids nowadays are grown up on
Oh,
the most fucking
I
like
see the wrinkles forming on his face.
dude, legit. I don't care. Every generation, I'll make this argument all the time. Every generation is going to follow the same trend. Last generation hated us. We're going to hate the next one. We're going to hate the one before it. Everybody hates each other. The more people there are in the world, everybody hates each other. The more people there are in the world, the more games come out, the more bad games there are. Why? Why is Skull and Bones still coming out?